What's up, guys and gals, and welcome to Veve Vibes, where I love talking all things Veve NFTs, speculation, and of course the market. So yeah, I'm already feeling much better, probably about 85, maybe like 90% of the way there. So probably do a stream a little bit later tonight, if not tomorrow for sure. But at the same time, it's funny because I was actually about to make a video about this over the weekend saying, hey, like Veve, what's up with first appearances, first editions, as well as I think con exclusives. I think that's what the CE stands for. And I was about to kind of just speculate, like, hey, this is what I think it means. I know it's not consistent, but I think this is what this stuff means. And they came out with this today on Thursday, just a few hours ago before the making of this video. So yeah, so Veve did tweet this not too long ago. I can actually pull it up here really quick. Hey, as promised, our article on the collection edition types. This article creates a foundation to build upon for your edition labeling and establishes guidelines for designations such as first appearance, first edition, con exclusive, etc. I'll go ahead and put a link to this Twitter post itself down in the description so you guys could check it out yourself and just take your time reading it, or I might just put a link to this directly. I'll probably do both. Just put a link to this also directly in the description as well. So collection types, what you need to know. I'm not going to read all this part. It's just fluff. It's just saying, hey, as you know, where we're at, we've grown a lot. You know, there's some inconsistencies, yada, yada, yada. Defining edition types. What qualifies as first appearance? How does that differ from first edition? Is first appearance on Veve, is it the first appearance on Veve or on blockchain? So first appearance is when a character with a storyline from comics, TV, film, etc. I'm kind of curious what that etc. means, because I'm thinking comics, TV, and film. So obviously it's part of like the mainstream kind of like lines of entertainment, such as Spider-Man is first introduced to the Veve platform in digital collectible format. It is considered first appearance or FA. Note that first appearance are reserved for characters making their debut on Veve and not on the blockchain in general, even though in most cases first appearances on the blockchain will be via Veve. So it sounds like they're not going to officially announce saying like, hey, this is officially the first on the blockchain, because there are a lot of other projects and things going on they might, I wouldn't say that they're not aware of, but for the most part, yeah, this kind of means things like Todd. I saw someone post a message on Twitter, which we'll go over a little bit more on Twitter, some questions that people might have. You know, yeah, Todd is the first of the first of the first, you know, first Batman on the blockchain, first on Veve, first on this. So a lot of first stuff. First edition was when an object such as the Rewind logo, artists, serial killers, vehicle like the DeLorean time machine, or the art-based format poster like the or lenticular cards makes its debut on Veve. It is considered a first edition or FE. Note that first editions are reserved for any objects making their debut on Veve and not just the blockchain in general, even in most cases. So that last little part is just saying, hey, we don't know if it's first in the blockchain, but you know, usually if it is, you know, if it is, it's going to be Veve sometimes. Yeah, this is kind of what I thought was first edition, was that, you know, especially when we're talking like Pokemon cards, people aren't looking for the first appearance Charizard. It's usually called first edition, you know, holographic Charizard, whatever it is. So typically like posters, art pieces, and like cards, they're more familiar with the term and the phrase first edition rather than first appearance. First appearance, although in comics, that's a bit different, even though that's also like printed material. I guess that's first appearance. As well. So that's kind of what the difference is. But as we go down, they're actually going to give you a whole list of actually changes that they made, and it's already made big waves in the market. I think because of those changes, they've actually changed some NFTs from basically FA to FE. So it's essential quote unquote downgrade in some sense, but I don't think that's necessarily the case, because if it's the first DeLorean, or if it's the first edition, if they release more DeLoreans, in my mind, that means that those aren't going to have the FE tag. So all it did was just kind of move all the objects, as well as the what was it, artist pieces, objects, art-based formats, things like that, vehicles are just going to move down a slot. So there's going to be no FAs for this. So in my mind, I'm just thinking FEs are going to replace FA. But again, I could be wrong. I'm just going to be curious what they're going to do if they do release like another DeLorean or another set of like lenticular cards, if they are like copies of Mickey and stuff. I doubt they'll do that, but you never know. But yeah, I thought that was the format. So con exclusive are inclusive of all collectibles dropped as part of a convention or a special event such as Comic-Con, Designer-Con, etc. There will be prioritization for FE and FA on con exclusive moving forward. So that means if they introduce a new character that has not been shown yet on Veve, at least in the 3D collectible format, and it's a con exclusive, but it's also an FA, it's the first appearance, that FA will replace CE, so like the con exclusive. There is an example of that, which we'll check out here in a little bit. Comic book character first appearances exist in their own world outside of the Veve and do not coincide with collectible releases. As such, digital comics do not carry the edition type designations on Veve. all this means is that they're not going to officially label any of the comics as FA, FE, con exclusive, literally anything like that. It will say though in the description, if it says, you know, first, this is the first appearance of Daredevil. This is the first appearance of Doctor Doom. It will say that on there, but it won't actually have the first appearance tag, which is why it's important for you guys to check out websites like vvrank.com and things like that, because that, who is that does that? Sleeping Comics, yeah, it took me a sec. Sleeping Comics is the one that's kind of designated. He hasn't designated himself, but he's just kind of copied down what Veve put for those posts, so sometimes it's very easy to overlook those first appearances. Moving forward, obviously there are some things to clean up given definitions laid out above. Why isn't Steamboat Willie an FA or an FE? What about the Batmans? Yeah, a lot of people have been asking about this. They did say basically, Walt Disney, the partner statue, is the first appearance of Mickey on the Veve because he is the character, and Disney does not consider Steamboat Willie as a different character. So Steamboat Willie, I could definitely see prices of Steamboat Willie. Actually, I haven't even checked yet. Maybe I've gone down a bit, as well as a lot of the vehicles and all the other art pieces that are basically designated FA have pretty much gone down in price, but I think it's going to be very short-lived. I think people are going to realize all they're doing is just shifting that down one slot, and I don't think that takes away the importance of Steamboat Willie. It didn't have it didn't have the FA or the FE tag anyway. The fact that it's not going to get it, I don't think it's going to cripple the price long-term by any means. Mickey and Friends Lenticular interactive cards are labeled FE because they are first edition cards. This means that if a premium digital collectible of Donald Duck, for example, like if they did like a 3D collectible, were to drop in the future, he would be an FA. So it does sound a bit confusing for some people, but if it is a first edition, like they said, if it's a poster, a card, a vehicle, or like an art piece of some kind, it's going to be FE first, and if they do release it in like 3D collectible format, it will be FA. Batman, oh boy, the Batmans. So with any startup, we have been on a steady diet of figured out as we go. Obviously, as a precedent was set early with some of the early Batmans and Harley Quinn being labeled FE as an artist works. But again, we want to clean all this up so the labels are less confusing moving forward. Don't worry, we will avoid removing altogether any currently labeled first appearances or first editions. This includes all black and white collectibles, etc., out of respect. So they're not, even though they said, yeah, we probably should have made this a bit more clear at the beginning, and maybe not all of the Batmans, as well as the Harley Quinns and stuff should have had the FE, like just basically just that first set that appeared with Harley Quinn. You know, one Harley Quinn gets the FA tag, and like any other Harley Quinns in that little series gets the FE, and then after that, no more FEs are going to be given out, to my knowledge. That's what it sounds like with this. So realistically, all of the Batmans after the first series and all the Harley Quinns after whatever series they came out in should have just not even had a tag at all whatsoever. But they said out of respect, they do know a lot of people have invested probably, I would imagine, a lot of money, and this is how it was initially set up for a long time. I think they're right in thinking that people are probably going to be more upset that their big name IP names, such as you know, Spider-Man, Batman, Marvel, DC, Disney, like all those ones that are part of that TV, film, movie, and comics, would probably be a little bit more upset than someone that just, you know, independent artist that goes from FA to FE. But then again, I could be wrong. I know there's some Da Vinci Pride people might be upset after this, so we'll see. Yeah, that's essentially what's being said here. Updates to existing collectibles. Look below at the proposed adjustments that are rolled out to existing collectibles based on our definitions above. We want to iterate here that we are not removing tags, only upgrading or moving between FA and FE. The aim is to update all of these as soon as possible. So none of the, so far, no NFTs are going to have just tags just completely removed, which is, in my mind, in some cases, depending on the NFT, could just completely plummet the price. Prices are actually already down. I've already checked a few of these on my phone. I actually had like the Ecto 1 static. I think it was the 1 to 6 interactive, the common, like that one was at like 95. Now it's at like 85 or something like that. So it's actually dipped quite a bit. I think this is going to be pretty short-lived. I think people are going to realize like, well, all it means is that any vehicle is just not going to have the FA tag, and like FE is just going to be the new FA, because any other DeLorean time machines that are going to come out in the future just aren't going to have the FE tag. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. Again, I could be wrong. You know, I could be wrong, but that's what it means in my head, at least with these kind of like vehicles, art pieces, things like that. So we have the DeLorean, the Ecto 1, the glider, the board cubes, Captain Cornstarch. Now this is an interesting one. Captain Carter actually got an upgrade. It was a Comic-Con exclusive, then it got upgraded to FA. I'll be honest, I've not paid attention to her price at all whatsoever, and I would look it up on ecomi wiki where her pricing was prior, but ecomi wiki's down, I assume because of this change. They probably did it this morning or during that update, and ecomi wiki just dropped, and I would assume Omi the Clown didn't want to like reveal too early that the changes were happening, or maybe he needed to update it. So I'm actually going to switch over to these tweets and replies that Veve has actually done to a few different people. People are saying, how does it make sense to make You Are DeLorean and You Are Glider FE? These are FA collectibles, not a piece of art. He says, as stated in the article, FE includes objects, artists, vehicles, or formats. So, and then here's another one that says, Captain Carter keeps the con exclusive tag, but loses the CE for FA. Is this correct? I just want to make sure. Similar would happen for all the con exclusive, getting FA, FE, Cthulhu's, Mondos, things like that. So Veve said only FA supersedes at CE. We currently only support one designation per collectible. So in this case, Captain Carter would just move from CE to FA. So Captain Carter would no longer have the con exclusive tag. It's just going to replace it with FA. You might have to probably do a little bit of searching to figure out that like she's also a con exclusive, but they're not going to put that CE on there. It's just going to be completely replaced with FA. Someone asked a question about physical world or digital like mixology, something about comics and stuff. He said, we don't want to tell you how to value your comics, but the first appearance of Green Goblin is still the first appearance of that character in the comic world, regardless if it was the first time he appeared anywhere on Veve. Okay. So yeah, I'm sure you guys could probably check out Veve and just go to tweets and replies to find out any more kind of like frequently asked questions I assume people have. But we'll go on. So again, Captain Carter, pretty much all of the 007 posters and pretty much anything related to 007, I would imagine, because they're all objects. None of them are actually people. Dragon Girls, Fat Tony. So all those pretty much a lot of the Decon and Ron English, like all those NFTs are going down here. So I'm not going to go through all of these now thinking about it, but the big ones in my mind are like the Star Trek ones, because again, they're not FA, they're FE, they're objects, not people. Now if they came out with a Data and a Captain Picard and a Worf and 7 of 9, 7 of 9 would be pretty nice. But again, if they came out with any of those characters, those would be FAs. But because they are objects or ships or whatever you want to call it, they are FEs as well. So again, I will put a link down in the description as well, just kind of linking this article as well as just the Twitter of Veve. So if you guys do have any questions, you guys can usually skim through here and find them anyway. So yeah, I mean, prices have already been affected by this. I do think it's just going to obviously exacerbate the dip, at least just in these areas. But I have noticed that some of the golden moments have actually gone up in price a little bit. I don't think initially because of this, because some of the golden moments were going up in price a little bit yesterday, but people are taking profits. So I was mainly looking at Elsa, Iron Man, and I think Homer and Bart actually went up to like 2.1 for a little bit, as well as some others. But now that people are again started trying to undercut in the meantime. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or kind of what you guys think about this change, I'm really happy that they actually just kind of laid this all out now. Sounds like they said they were just kind of like, we'll figure it out as we go. A lot of the first Batmans probably didn't need that FE tag, but you know, each one was an individual artist, and they're like, well, this is the first time we've done this artist's iteration of Batman or whatever it is. So it sounds like they're going to be changing that as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, again, put me down in the comments below. And of course, hope you guys take care, and I'll catch you on the flip side.